I've been playing World of Warcraft for over a decade, and I've leveled up every class more than once. And I've never read the quest text, so I have no idea what my own characters have been through. So I've decided to play through every single zone and read every quest. And then I'm going to do my best to share what I've learned with you, just in case you've missed out on the story too. So be warned, this video is going to contain some spoilers. My name is TheKephas, and this is A Hero's Journey in Warcraft. Commissioned to protect Elwynn Forest, you make your way to Goldshire to meet up with Marshal Duggan. Duggan comes off slightly condescending towards you, referring to Northshire as a mere garden when compared to Elwynn Forest. But the letter written by McBride has awarded you acting deputy status with the Stormwind Marshals, so Duggan congratulates you. He notes that the army is stretched pretty thin, and dealing with Elwynn Forest will be no easy task. Your first assignment is to scope out the Fargo Deep mine. It seems that Northshire wasn't the only place with a kobold problem. Your task is to explore the mine and confirm the reports of kobold sightings. But exploring the mine isn't entirely necessary, as kobolds can be seen mucking about the entrance of the mine. But being a good soldier, you follow through with your orders and explore the mine, fighting your way through numerous kobolds. It won't be an entire waste of time though, as the kobolds possess a few things that some villagers in town have expressed interest in. Returning to Goldshire, you pass by the Stonefield farm, where you meet the family who owns the land. Ma Stonefield tells you about a pesky prize pig named Princess, who belongs to the Brackwell family. She claims that Princess keeps coming to her farm and eating her crops, and that's why she's so huge. And Ma has had enough, and wants this hog dead. Sure enough, you find Princess lurking around the Stonefield watermelon patch. You bring down the gigantic hog and bring back her collar as proof. With Princess dealt with, you turn your attention to Auntie Bernice, who has lost her necklace and claims that some brat kid named Billy McClure stole it. She asks you to get it back for her and tells you that you can find Billy at the McClure Vineyards. You head over to the McClure Vineyards and find Billy hanging around the barn. The little brat claims he didn't take the necklace, but he might know who did. He says he's too hungry to remember, but if you can convince Bernice to make him a pork belly pie, he might remember. You play along with the little punk and gather up some meat from the wild boars hanging around the vineyard. During your hunt, you pass by the McClure house and find Maybelle. She expresses her love for Tommy Joe Stonefield, but laments that the McClure and Stonefield families are bitter enemies, and so she isn't allowed to see him. She implores you to deliver her letter to Tommy Joe. With Maybelle's love letter in hand and enough boar meat gathered, you return to the Stonefields. Bernice isn't too happy about Billy's request, but agrees to make the pie in hopes that the boy chokes on it. At the nearby river to the west, you find Tommy Joe and deliver the letter, and he reads it in haste. He expresses his affection for Maybelle by referring to her as the light of his dull life. He cannot stand to be apart from her any longer and asks you to speak with his grandma to find a solution. Grandma Stonefield notes that as long as the families are feuding, the young lovers don't have much of a future. But she'd like to see them together, even if it's just for a little while. She asks you to speak with William Pestle at the Lion's Pride Inn in Goldshire. He might be able to come up with a solution. But before heading back to Goldshire, you deliver Billy's pie. Miraculously, he recalls playing near the mine where he saw the necklace. And then he saw a big, gold-toothed kobold snatch it and return to his den above the mine. You find Goldtooth hanging around his den, clutching Bernice's necklace. But before you can take the necklace, you'll have to take his life. You return the necklace to Bernice, and she's so overjoyed she gives you her late husband's lucky heirloom. With the Fargo Deep mine explored, you return to Goldshire. You report to Marshal Duggan and inform him of the kobolds lurking in the mine. He'll have to increase patrols near that mine, but for now, he's got another one for you to explore. It seems that even more kobolds are infesting the Jasper Lode mine further to the east. Maybe it's about time Stormwind gave these mines the Echo Deep treatment. Before you head out, you speak to William Pestle about the Maybelle and Tommy Joe situation. He shows great empathy for the young lovers and comes up with a solution. He plans to make an invisibility liquor for Maybelle so she can sneak away and meet up with Tommy Joe. But first, he's going to need some crystal kelp. Luckily, the Murlocs lurking around Crystal Lake tend to collect it. You set out for Jasper Lode Mine and pass by Crystal Lake. Sure enough, the Murlocs have plenty of crystal kelp on them, and they gladly hand it over to you, in a way that only Murlocs can. With kelp in hand, you move on to the Jasper Lode Mine, and sure enough, more kobolds are found lurking throughout the mine. But these kobolds seem to be even stronger, with some even knowing how to use magic. Back at Goldshire, William uses the crystal kelp you gathered to make the invisibility potion. You deliver the potion to Maybelle, and she wastes no time in drinking it, disappearing before your eyes and sneaking off to meet with her lover. Now that you are done playing matchmaker, you report to Duggan once again and inform him of the Jasper Lode situation. With both mines explored, you hand over items you collected from the kobolds. You deliver the large candles to William Pessel and sell the gold dust to Remy 2 times. While speaking to Remy, he warns you of the rising Murloc threat to the eastern side of Elwynn. They are swimming up the streams, scaring away fish and attacking innocent villagers. He says that Marshal Duggan has dismissed his concerns as he's more occupied with gnolls and bandits. He asks you to speak to Duggan about the Murloc threat, and persuade him to send more soldiers. Duggan will not send more troops until he receives a military report about the Murloc threat, so if you want anything to be done, you're going to have to go on yet another scouting mission. You hitch a ride on Duggan's charger and head east to meet up with Guard Thomas. Thomas confirms that Murlocs have indeed settled in along the streams of eastern Elwynn and notes that they are aggressive and show signs of intelligence. A few days earlier, 2 guards named Rolf and Malachi were sent to investigate along the river, but neither of them have returned, and you are sent to look for them. Near Guard Thomas, you find a wanted poster for James Clark, wanted for robbery, burglary, arson, and murder, and most notably, a suspect in the kidnapping and disappearance of the Brackwell's prized pig, Princess. You make note of this and head north along the river. The river leads you to a horrific sight, a half-eaten body and pieces of armor. Near it, you find a medallion with the words Footman Malachi Stone etched on it. You search the area and find Murloc tracks heading east along Stone Carn Lake, and in the distance, you can barely make out a Murloc village. You head to the village and fight your way through, collecting the Murloc's fins as bounty. In the middle of the village, you find Rolf's disembodied corpse. Around the neck, you find another medallion with the words etched, Footman Rolf Hartford. Leaving the Murloc village to the south, you pass through Eastvale Logging Camp, and discover that many of the villagers there could use some help. Supervisor Raylene is falling short on her deadline for an order of lumber, thanks to the wolves and bears scaring off her workers, so you agree to fight off the wild beasts that threaten the camp, and gather the lumber needed for the order. In a nearby cabin, you find James Clark, and take his head. Some will see this as a hero ridding the world of a cold-blooded murderer. Others might see it as just a mercenary collecting another bounty. But with James Clark out of the picture, few will know who the true suspect was in the disappearance of a certain prized pig. While searching the body of James Clark, you find a note, and on it are dates and times when someone described as the Collector will receive a shipment of gold from the mines of Elwynn's Forest. It also indicates that the Collector is holed up near the Brackwell pumpkin patch. You give the note to Marshal McCree posted in Eastvale Logging Camp. He recalls hearing about the Collector before, but has no idea whom he is working for. He orders you to bring the Collector to justice by ending his life, and deliver his ring mentioned in the pickup schedule. You make your way to the Brackwell pumpkin patch and find that it is overrun with bandits. In a nearby cabin you find Morgan the Collector, along with Serena Kaladin and Erland Drudgemore, both known for their history with the TheKephas Brotherhood. The 3 waste no time and begin to attack. Outnumbered, you are in for the fight of your life, but slowly you gain the upper hand, and one by one you bring the 3 bandits down. You grab the ring off the Collector and make your way back to the camp. You deliver the Collector's ring to McCree, and he notes that the ring is for those who are members of the old Stonemasons Guild of Stormwind. He hasn't recalled seeing a ring like this since the days of the TheKephas Brotherhood. As you leave Eastvale, you meet up with Guard Thomas to report on the fate of Rolf and Malachi. With their deaths, it is clear that the Murlocs are a threat that can no longer be ignored. With Eastvale logging camp secured, you are sent to the Westbrook garrison to help deal with the Gnoll threat. You report to Deputy Rayner, who asks you to help kill off the large pack of gnolls running around the forest to the south. Bring back their armbands as proof and you will be rewarded. Nearby, you find a wanted poster for a notorious gnoll named Hogger. The largest gnoll to the south, Hogger has overpowered every attempt to capture him. You make your way south through the large pack of gnolls and take down any in your path. Eventually, you find Hogger prowling around at the top of a hill. Hogger growls, "Fresh meat," and attacks you, but as you bring the fight to him, he calls for help. A swarm of tiny minions begin to attack you as Hogger attempts to regain his strength by feasting on a giant carcass nearby, but you overpower him and he begs for mercy. Suddenly, 3 humans teleport nearby. It's General Hammond Clay, accompanied by 2 mages. He calls for you to halt your attack. He believes that capturing the leader of the Riverpaw Gnolls will be more effective at quelling Gnoll aggression in Elwynn Forest, and Hogger is teleported to the stockades. Nearby, you find a dead thief holding a deed to farmlands in Westfall signed by Theodore Furlbrow and his wife, Verna. On the back, you find scribblings that indicate that the deed was taken by extortion and was to be used for forgery. It indicates that the Furlbrows were last seen near a broken wagon heading out of Westfall. You return to Goldshire, and Marshal Duggan isn't too thrilled about General Hammond's decision to lock up Hogger in the stockades. He questions the decision to put the leader of the Gnoll army right under the city, and he asks you to make a promise to check in on the stockades at some point in the near future. You've done so much work for the Alliance in Elwynn Forest, fighting kobolds, murlocs, thieves, and gnolls, and much progress has been made in the security of Elwynn Forest. But with the Furlbrow deed in hand, it's time for you to head west to Westfall to help the Alliance deal with an ever-increasing rise in crime. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that like button, and feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. You can also subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter at TheKephas to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, this is Kephas, until next time.